Hi, I'm Amanda Shekarchi, and I'm joined by multi-instrumentalist artist and producer Kaylin Klypak, who goes by June Thrasher as his artist name. He is from Saskatchewan and composes instrumental synthwave music. It's been 5 years since he released new music, and his previous EP was 2021 Viper Creek. Now he is back with Prairie Thrash. June Thrasher also is a mentor for many Saskatchewan musicians. He works at Sask Music, where he helps artists get international performance opportunities, as well as showing them the ropes of the industry. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of this. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a long time coming. So, how are you feeling about this new music being out there?
It feels so good to have some new songs released. As an artist from Saskatchewan, where you're faced with some pretty isolating winters, it's just nice to create something and to go through the full process and release new music and just start playing shows again. It's something that I've really missed, and especially during like our pandemic times too, where just everybody was just kind of like kept in their own house and just kind of like just like relaxing and I don't know, just creating at home. It's just nice to kind of like just take all those like really cool ideas and just put them out into the world again.
I love that. I think that's so beautiful. And that was definitely once the pandemic was done, it was such a core part of now we can finally experience music as it's meant to be. Like playing live is really the essence of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it feels like an identity thing for myself as well too. It's like I've been playing I guess live shows for I guess 25 years when I look at it. So yeah, so it feels good to be creating and making music that I love and just putting it out there for maybe one or two folks might enjoy it.
I love it. Now let's set the stage here. How did you come up with the June Thrasher name? I love it.
Oh yeah, that's great question. So yeah, for June Thrasher. So so basically, I was born in June, and so I wish there was like a cool like lore story where it just goes way back. And I used to skateboard a lot, and so that's where the Thrasher kind of came into play too. So it was just kind of like you know more of like a beautiful subtle word with June, and then just something more on the intense side for Thrasher, and I just kind of combined them both. So it stuck.
I love that. And what instruments do you play?
I fumble around on drums. Drums have always been my main instrument, but I also play guitar, and then just for the past, I want to say 9 years, I've been dabbling with synthesizers. Um, I've I've never taken a lesson for any of the instruments of I play, and so I always just play by ear. So it's just been a really fun process, just exploring just those types of instruments.
I love that. And I've read, you kind of touched on this, but you use some YouTube tutorials to help you learn the synth. How was that experience? Just self teaching yourself?
You get this incredible piece of equipment that just makes these like lush, beautiful sounds, and just how to like maximize that. And so, like I just kind of when I first got started was that it was watching the very first season of Stranger Things and just being so hyper fixated with that soundtrack. I was like, wow, I really want to make music like this. Like I've always just loved electronic music and I love synthesizers, but it's always been something that I felt it was just a bit out of reach. And I was like, you know what? Like, just one day, I'm just going to go and I'm just going to do it. So, what I did was, yeah, I just went and purchased a synthesizer from Long McQuaid. And um, it's kind of like a bit of a slippery slope because the amount of gear that has piled up since then has been pretty substantial. But I didn't. I had no idea about synthesis and how to like play an instrument like this. So yeah, so I used to watch lots of YouTube tutorials on just how to like navigate these sounds and just kind of learn with some happy accidents and yeah, just kind of lit a fire.
I love that. That's really cool. And we'll get more into that in a second. But so during your time off, releasing your own solo stuff, a cool milestone was that you got to play drums on tour for the band Slow Down Molasses. How was that?
It was a dream come true. Playing shows out in the UK and in Europe and in Scotland was like a huge bucket list of mine. And so the folks at Slow Down Molasses, I grew up playing shows with a lot of the members in the early 2000s. We used to play in lots of like hardcore and metal bands, and we'd be playing in these like DIY, like dirty punk rock shows. And so we've always just remained friends. And they they released a new record, and I think they played like one or two shows, and then their drummer moved to another province for a new job. And they approached me and they just said, "Hey, like we have these two shows coming up, and we're just wondering if you would like to just fill in." And I was just like, "Yes, absolutely!" Like they're all great friends, and I love the music, and those two shows turned into 25 shows. And just for 2 years, I just helped them with their previous album cycles. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I kind of like, I grew up playing in heavy bands, so I was able to kind of put my swing of just like of blast beats into their songs. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And they're a great crew. Actually, too, they're also, I think they're recording one record or two records right now. So they will have new music out soon, which I'm really excited for. Actually, like right before I started to focus more on June Thrasher, I ended up recording two songs in the studio with them. So I'm really looking forward for those songs to be released out into the world as well.
That's awesome. Now let's dive into this EP, Prairie Thrash. What is your goal with this new project?
Yeah, great question. So, with Prairie Thrash, so my previous record, Viper Creek, was a lot more on the ambient side, and performing that record live was a bit more of an afterthought. Like it was, I recorded that record during the pandemic, and I was like, oh, I don't know what the world's going to be looking like. I don't know if I'll be playing shows. So I guess when things started to reopen, I did play a few shows, and on the ambient side, it was so much fun to be able to perform those songs live. But those songs weren't really built for live. Like it was just kind of more so just for like cruising the countryside, go and explore the prairies, where I grew up. That was like the main visual element that I found myself in. So with Prairie Thrash, um, I wanted to write a couple songs that were more so built for live performance, and just to kind of like have more of like an electronic dance element into those songs. So yeah, that's kind of like the main purpose of Prairie Thrash, is just to have a few more songs with more of those driving elements.
So, keeping the idea in mind that you wrote this EP to play live, how did that influence your creative process?
The main factors was live performance. So just from performing live with my previous record, Viper Creek, and just using like hardware synthesizers and drum machines, I found that if people can't really see what you're doing with your hands, it doesn't translate to what the audience is hearing. Um, I think it might be just like a visual thing. So with Prairie Thrash and the songs that are on this EP, um, I'm doing a lot more, I guess, like solos and like keyboard playing, and just doing like just actions to show, to kind of like to show like, I guess, like the movements in the song, and like what parts are being played live. It's a combination of like playing keyboard and using sequencers, and then building up the tracks that way. But doing it in such a way that it shows the energy of the song, and then hopefully that translate into the audience and just makes people want to dance.
Yeah, take me deeper into that. What does your live setup look like?
it's always changing. Yeah, I actually just played a show a couple weeks ago with a fantastic artist from Regina, Saskatchewan called Kalak. They just released just this incredible record, and so I kind of just rebuilt my live setup. So I had two MIDI controllers. I had an OB6, a sequential OB6, which kind of has more of like that Stranger Things type sound to it. I was using an Arturia Mini Freak for doing a lot of like the leads, and I was using a Roland TR8S drum machine for all the drum parts. And then my main sequencer is it's called a Deluge, and it's just kind of like Ableton, but it's hardware. And so I write all my sequences into it, and it's kind of like my ride or die synthesizer, like main box, just for controlling my setup. And then the other thing is a Novation Peak is kind of like it has no business being this awesome. It's kind of like my main go-to synthesizer for sounds. I actually build tracks around a lot of the bass sounds from the Novation Peak, and yeah, it's awesome. But with that being said, with that amount of gear, it comes with a lot of stands, a lot of trips for loading into the venue. Um, a lot of things that can go wrong just because everything is connected by MIDI. And but it's fun. It's fun to kind of like really like test yourself and see what you can make happen.
Beautiful. Let's get into this EP. What is the creative theme?
For Prairie Thrash, kind of these songs are are based on more of like the nostalgic factor. So like each song, it kind of has its own purpose. But the first two songs is like there's Impala and Cutlass Supreme. Those two songs are based like more of like driving dance music, kind of like in like the M83 to the Daft Punk style type songs. But those songs, like whenever I write, I always get a visual of just something in my mind as I'm creating, and those songs, um, I guess, like kind of like the main purpose of those songs are just they're kind of based on my first two cars that I had in high school, and with Impala and Cutlass Supreme, like I had lots of friends. We would drive in these cars, and we'd go look for skateboard spots. We would have like dance offs. We would like show up to school wearing like windsuits, and we'd have these like big like dance offs like in front of the car because like these cars had like awesome speakers, and it just kind of like brought me back to like a simpler time. I was also listening to a lot of Daft Punk in high school around that time too. So I think just like those types of sounds and the visual element, it just kind of came together. So
On the other side of the EP, I love the warm tones in the track. Space is the place for Star Wars. What was the inspiration for that one?
yeah, so that one was kind of like a bit of a like a tribute to my first record, because my first album is a lot more in like the ambient side of things. But so I was like, yeah, like I feel like that's kind of like my roots a little bit, and just for like working with synthesizers. So I wanted to create an ambient track, but still have it with those driving elements. So just more of like a drum kit added to it, and just to kind of like just keep the track just like pushing and moving forward. But yeah, like um, I just like when I was writing it, I was just creating these like really like beautiful lush pads, and I was like, wow, like this would be such a cool song just to kind of like just go drive around on some grid roads in Saskatchewan, and like if the sun's starting to set, and just like where for a brief moment just everything kind of feels right in the world, and or okay in the world, I should say. And yeah, it just kind of just worked out in that way. But also too, like the song title has like nothing to do with the song. It's actually a quote from Mad TV that just made me laugh.
So, what do you have coming up?
My EP is coming out on June 2nd, which I'm really excited for. That's also my birthday. So I just kind of lined everything up. So it's instead of just like little pockets of celebrating, it's just going to be a big splash on my birthday to have a record and to celebrate turning 41. So I have that coming out, and then my next show that I have booked is that I'm going to be making my debut at an incredible festival called Folk on the Rocks in Yellowknife. And so I'll be performing there. I have two performances at Folk on the Rocks, and then following Folk on the Rocks, fly back to Saskatoon, and then I head over to go play Gateway Festival in Saskatchewan. So I have those two shows, but I'm also just starting to book a lot more stuff in the fall that I'm really excited to announce. Also too, like I think I'm planning on doing like a big album release show in September. We have the Canadian Country Music Awards in our city, so I'm just trying to figure out when is the best time to do it, either before or after that.
I love that. And while you're curating your schedule, add Toronto to the list.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it would be an absolute dream to come out and play in Toronto, and I'm there all the time for work, so I have to make this happen in some way, and you'll be the first to know.
Please. So, where can people find you if they want to keep up with your work?
I guess now it will be both my records are they're on YouTube, which if you just type in June Thrasher, and for all streaming sites as well too. My music's up there. And if you wanted more of an in-depth look into how I create lots of reels of my cat, who is also a huge influence on my project. His name is also Thrasher too. You can follow me on Instagram at June Thrasher Official. And then I'm also on Facebook at June Thrasher.
Thank you so much for being here. The EP Prairie Thrash is out now, and congratulations on everything you have going on.